Hello, I'm Jody Wolf. You're watching Expoz, August 30, 2015, 2:53 a.m. Birmingham, 13 days and counting to Harbinger Day. You know, the reason I keep telling you, I'm giving you a countdown, and I've been doing this off and on for a long time, since the last Harbinger, which was the 9/11 2014. And I didn't know a lot about all the other things that was going to come during the month of September 2015. But I'm surprised that there are that many things. I thought there were 7. It's more like 15. All kinds of things, and out of all of them, none of them are going to be good. None of them brings us tidings of great joy. They just don't. Everything that comes is some sort of judgment. And believe me, America, like I said before, like you've heard other people say, if God did not judge the United States, he would have to go back in time and apologize to Sodom and Gomorrah. Clear and simple. We have done everything possible to in your face to God. We can't do anything more. We have killed that we kept track of. What we didn't keep track of is probably half again that many, but we have murdered 60 million babies. We have taken prayer out of schools in the 60s. We have taken the praying before all football games out. Of course, some of them do it, and I would continue. The chaplain in these colleges and high schools are gone. And the chaplain in the army and all the military is gone. They're there, but they can't use in Jesus' name. They can't pray in the Lord's name. But that's not why I'm doing this blog. The reason I'm doing this blog, I left some things undone on the last blog. And I want to clear that up right now. I was telling you about Jesus, or a Jew rather, picking a bride, choosing the woman he wants to marry, and then he leaves her. And he goes home to his father's house, and he adds a room or a wing to his father's house. And when he's done, it's usually about a year. And when it's done, then he will go back to his bride, and on a moment's notice, it's time. Let's go get married. And she doesn't turn back and go get anything. She goes with him. That's their custom in Israel, and that's the biblical custom. That's the Torah custom. That is the Septuagint, the Apocrypha. That's the custom. And that custom the Jews still use today. And Jesus used the same custom. But how can that be? He never got married, right? Well, kinda. But no, he didn't. Not yet. But he's about to get married. Jesus told his disciples, I leave. I've got to go. But I go and I prepare a place for you. He's talking to his bride. And if I go and prepare a place for you, then I will come again and receive you to myself. In my Father's house are many mansions. And he says it clearly. If it wasn't so, I would tell you. But he left. Jesus left us 2,000 years ago. And he went to his Father's house where he is building a mansion for each of us, you and me, every person who has accepted Christ. He's building millions of mansions, but I think he's got a lot of help. I heard once, changing a quick subject, somebody talked about, wow, what if I get there and it's not the color I like? I said, well, here's what I heard. If you go into a room, well, to start with, God knows the color you like. He knows the color you would have picked. And it's going to be the color that you would have picked and chose. But if you got there and you decide you wanted a different color, you don't have to pick the color or find it and get painters. You know it in your mind. You got it in your head. You reach up and you touch the wall, and instantly it's that color that you wanted, that color that you pictured. That's how simple a paint job is going to be in heaven. And but Jesus made it very clear to his disciples. And the people today who accept Christ, and then we go out and tell other people about Christ, we're kind of like his disciples. But we're his bride. We're the ones that he is going to marry. So he made it clear, I'm going to leave you and I'm going to go build a place for you. And when I finish, I'm going to come back and get you. And I'm going to take you to my home, because in my Father's house are many mansions. One of them belongs to you. That's what Jesus said. Exactly what he said. And that's what he means. And I also mentioned that there's no way in the world that a Jew that's going to marry his pick, his woman of his dreams, someone is keeping a watch on her, not to make sure that she doesn't go fool around. She doesn't do that, because she usually goes into her own house and waits there. But she has protectors out there. They won't let anyone near her. They will not let her get hurt. No one will go slap her around. No one will beat her up. No one will behead her. They make sure of that. That's why Jesus said that the time of the tribulation is worse than there's ever been on any time on earth. Since the days of Noah, so shall it be in the days of the coming of the Son of Man. The days of Noah were horrible. There were Nephilim on the land, giants in the land. They ate people to stay alive. And they did a lot of horrible other things. But Jesus will not let us go into a tribulation period, a time when these Nephilim, when some of them will return to start killing as many people as they can kill, because the first half of the 7-year tribulation, 3.5 years, 1/3 of the people on earth will die. Part of that will be a meteor will hit. Parts will be droughts, diseases. Parts will be just anything that you can think of that will kill you. People, accidents. These things are going to be really on the uptick. I mean, sky high. That's a third of the people on earth. And then the second half of the tribulation is called the Great Tribulation. That's when God leashes 14 judgments and any extra if he decides that will punish people every minute of every day. And very few of them will die. They'll all have to go through it. And you think for a minute that the Lord would choose you as his bride and then tell you, but I'm sorry, honey, you're going to have to go through that hell. You're going to have to get beat up. You're going to be, terrible things will be done to you. No way. You're protected, guys, every one of you. That's why we cannot be here with Satan here at the same time. We can't be. In fact, Satan can't come. The Antichrist can't come. We got to go first. But when he goes, Lord, I don't want to be here. It's going to be worse than hell on earth. Jody Wolf Expoz.